Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, the Division 2 Legendary. Legendary Division 2, kind of what I made my debut on this channel. I think I first video was something to do with getting level 99 and shepherding. So it's fitting I'm here with a couple of WAT team members and their clan. They're two-manning it. When we go through here, it looks like we've done a little bit more. We tried a couple times. I don't know if people left, but I was going to help them on this day. Kind of what I've been trying to do the whole time on this channel. I've sped this up quite a bit. I didn't feel like editing it all out, all the dull parts. I just sped it up to like 2.75. So it's en fuego, YouTube, en fuego. The point for a lot of this channel was to pass on some of the things that I've learned in my life. And for the most part, a lot of the things I talk to you about, I'm pretty confident in how they are. There's some things that I talk about, and I'd go out of my way to say that's my opinion or something like that. But my goal was never to inflame people, because I don't think what I'm talking about is something to be inflamed. When I first did the channel, a lot of people had a heartache with the Vile Jammer build. They just, they'd go over that's Eclipse Protocol and that other stuff. They wouldn't even listen to the videos where I did comparisons and I explained to them why. I mean, people are stuck with their ideas. My job on this channel isn't to change your mind. Some things are just fact. And so I know for some of you, you want to have the facts that are whatever you like to see, which is okay. I mean, you can live in that, but that's, like I've said before, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level, right? Some things are, at this point in human existence today, are immutable. They're not for question. And on some of the softer things in life, I am not proclaiming that I have this, that, or the third knowledge more than anyone else. What I will say is this: semantics exists in philosophy for a reason. And if you can't understand the semantical arguments, then to make your arguments without understanding the semantical arguments, it's nothing to argue about, because we're not talking about the same things. That's why there's semantics. And it's like doing legendaries in the Division. There isn't one special choreographed way. You go to this block, then you go to this block, and then you go hide here, and then you go up here, and then you make a left, and then you shoot that guy, and then you look for a purple and you shoot the next guy. That's none of it. In fact, if life was that scripted, when people think there's so many conspiracies, you can't even get a group sometimes to run this legendary into completion. There's always a variation. So how do we even live then, YouTube? Well, we live because we develop some pattern recognition and some understanding of a system. And as we do it more and more, and we're successful doing it, we develop not the only way, but a way to go through this. And life. The thing about life is you only get one run through. And when I try to explain this to some people, they just don't want to understand that. And I'm not telling it because it's what I believe in or what it's their belief in. I'm not going to tell you what you believe in, YouTube. But a basic understanding of different religions in the world will tell you that people have different beliefs. And one belief doesn't trump any of the others, despite what the members of one of the groups or each group thinks. Because it's a matter of faith. And I've argued on this channel that science is a type of faith at times. So we're three-man in this, so you know what I'm going to do. This is maximum Vial Jammer. But you'll see one of the folks has Ambrosia, and I got the Vial Jammer going on. And it works pretty good. And one of the people, or both of them, I think they have high armor builds and shield builds. So they could do a lot of DPS. They're not trying to Vial Jam, but they're using that Ambrosia for a way through. I want to thank some of the people that were early supporters: Sloth Moods, Ultimate Shield, Just a Gamer, Rose Fox. When I would do a video, I got to run with them a couple times. Great player. If you get to run with them, absolutely fantastic. There's sometimes I'd make a video with a group and the people would comment after. They've been fantastic. All in all, it's been a great run doing the channel. But the channel wasn't just about gameplay. The channel was kind of about the things that bring things together or not. And one of the things when you think you can communicate and people don't understand what you're saying, you check your message, and, you know, sometimes people just don't understand what I'm saying. And so that's my fault because I'm not explaining it very well. And as time goes on, when that message doesn't reach people, and the message isn't to persuade you, it's just for you to see that side. Like, some people play the Division with a weapon DPS build, and some play it more tanky. And I'm not telling you there's only one way to play it. I'm telling you the way I play it as a part of a team, I can almost always guarantee that you're going to make it through a legendary. Maybe not Manning and Tidal Basin, but we don't get to run those that much. And as other people said, hey, maybe you should consider this, I considered that. And I softened up on my position. I have a couple different builds that I would run. I have a electronic DPS build, and then I have a red damage plus high survivability build that I'll play on these. So it's never my intention to tell you there's only one way to do it. I'm just telling you the way that I have seen. And there's some things I've seen in my life. I just have more experience than other people in some things. Just as if someone wanted to tell me about woodworking, I have no experience in woodworking. If someone wanted to tell me about fishing, I'm not the best fisherman. I would listen to that. But I apologize because it seems like I've come across to people like I know everything, and I obviously don't. And I apologize because I can't get the message across to you that you understand. To me, it seemed relatively simple, but it's in my head it's simple. And it's me living with me, such as other people have ideas, and sometimes I don't understand them. It's not a lack on their fault. I put the blame on myself. And so that's what the point of the channel was. Ultimately, the point of the channel was to tell you how to play Legendary Division 2 content. And I think I've done that over and over and over, ad nauseum and over. I run into people now that are running Vial Jammer. I stopped playing Vial Jammer, and I play a whole different build because they can do the Vial Jammer. Initially, I got onto the Division 2 and played Vial Jammer because no one would stop the GD drones. So I'm like, I'll stop the drones. And. Now that people do it, I play different builds. And I love playing in a group with people. It's not my build. It's just a build that works in here. It's one of 4 that make a very efficient group. So I apologize if I seem to lead you in a different direction. One comment in particular got people kind of salty, and I apologize. Basically, it's this. If someone was a Christian and they heard someone from a different religion saying that maybe it wasn't important, or this, that, or the third of the tenet of Christianity wasn't important, and they used it as a kind of a trite saying in their culture, you wouldn't appreciate that. And sometimes we do that in our culture. And I made a point, and that's Roxy for the last time. Not the last time tonight. Someone's car alarm's going off. Roxy has her voice too. She wants to be heard. But what they say, religion, politics, and, I don't know, taxes. You don't ever say at dinner, it's probably not taxes, but religion and politics for sure. And so when I touch on that thing about beliefs, that gets some people squirrely, and I apologize, not my point. The point was really saying that if in America, when you believe in Christianity, you don't cobble things onto it. So there's no room in Christianity for reincarnation. And for the most of us, there's only one person that supposedly came back from the dead. And he came back to the dead in his own body. So it's not even how I think most people consider reincarnation. But if you're a Christian, just you don't believe in reincarnation. You believe that you die and go to heaven. Then if you're Catholic or Protestant, you go to a stop filling station before you go all the way. Not here to discuss that. Made the mistake of making that point. Some of you don't understand that the point. Here I am, rezzing this guy. Interesting, we're talking about. And I'm rezzing him, you too. So, anyways, I don't want to get stuck on those points. But I think my work here is done. You know how to do legendaries now. That was the purpose of this. Super Slanky Lanky was another one of the people. Ms. Buffalo, appreciated her. Grin, for a while, Grin was a person that was following the channel, that made some really good videos. Have fun. Place my heart for everyone that liked the channel and subscribed and gave some feedback. I know it always wasn't your cup of tea. You maybe were coming here for gaming and not my viewpoints on things, and I appreciate that. But that's never where I wanted to just be another person doing over and over game. You know, how many times am I going to do a legendary? So, and I never intended that for that. So maybe it's time I stop doing this and do something else. And that's everyone. So now they're all excited. So maybe you're going to hear them one last time. And that's the neighborhood dogs as well. So three-manning this went pretty easy. Now, this second time this happened, I went to the normal spot over here to the left, and they're choosing to play it over there. Will we survive? Well, guess what, YouTube? You know what's going to happen. If I get us to here, I'm going to bring home the bacon. That's just facts. And that's what I mean to tell you. I think I always hated it when older folks would tell me how it was, but a lot of times that's how it was. Maybe not something particular to me. Each person's journey is a little bit different. But one thing, wasting your money on stuff is wasting your money on stuff no matter what. Doesn't mean you're not going to do it, but sometimes you got to save your money for the important things. So that's not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as I've told you. It seems like every video we're getting older and older with my comments. Obviously, I enjoyed doing this. I wouldn't have done it for 400 times, at least. But I like making the videos. I like getting the feedback. I'm just sorry I agitate some of you. Or all of you. So, those guys are hanging on by a thread over there. Part of me was thinking maybe I should go over there, but you know, you're always going to get that guy up in the upper right that's going to shoot down on you. And that guy's lighting me up. Every once in a while, you'll see him on the upper right of the screen. They're lighting me up. And very seldom, very seldom they come in here. But they did, but they're going to die. They're going to get pulsed to death. Eventually, one of those dudes comes over and comes next to me. Easier for me to record without doing the video, a little technical thing. When I do the video, it takes longer to transfer the video from the phone because it has to process it at first when I do it on my phone. The other thing, a lot of people were like, you did this or your mic sucked or whatever, but the point was this wasn't the full-time thing. If it worked, it would have worked. If I would have got more things, I would have upgraded that, but it's kind of proof of concept. I did 400 videos basically off an iPhone, just in the basic recording. I used to use Xbox recording. That was always a little glitchy. I ended up using OBS. That was pretty easy. Didn't use it to the maximum. Then I would do everything on iPad using LumaFusion. I recently started following a person that had a good LumaFusion channel. Very clear. I could even understand it. Was great. Again, I appreciate everyone that gave feedback. It was all I appreciate. It was thought-provoking, and I would try to incorporate some of that feedback into my gameplay or into my thoughts. Some of the things I don't agree, in which I've told you, you can't change everything. Some things are just bedrock for me. I just would say I know a little bit better for me than for you. I know people think that they'd like to have their opinion. You can, but some things, like I said, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. So some things are just what they are. And I can't explain that to everyone. But I can say this. I truly and honestly appreciate everyone that watched the videos, gave comments, that I played within the game, that put up with me. So, apologize if I stepped on any feelings. Purely unintentional, not the purpose of the channel. Purpose of the channel, I think we've succeeded, is running legendaries, and we've run that. So thank you, YouTube. This is the end. Ronin Kazi, out for the last time.